Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Running Club at UC Riverside podcast episode. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm your host, Daniel Yang, president of Running Club, with my co-host, Thomas Kwase, vice president of Running Club.
Yeah.
Today, we have a special guest, Kento Murata. He was a West Eye alumni, friend of Thomas's, and I heard he's starting to get into running. So how is that going so far with you right now?
Getting into running?
I mean, you ran like a long time ago, right? Like.
Yeah, I've got into like cross country, like the other freshmen and stuff as well. And after the freshman year, I kind of stopped doing cross country, but I got the feeling for running. Like I knew what routine, I guess, like what I need to think in my head in order to get through every run.
Yeah.
And then ever since, like, I would go back to running, like at least like multiple times a year. I would be like, okay, I ran before, I know I can do it, so that I run again. And then so I've been consistently, not all the time, but I know how to run, and I don't go that far, but I know my limits and stuff. So
Yeah, I think running, like once you do 2 miles, you could run 2 miles again. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And how do you like stay consistent with that all? Because like I know that you kind of like when I meant earlier with the questions, like you're getting back to it is what I heard. So like how do you really like stay consistent with that? Stick with it.
Or how do you think you would get yourself back into it? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just basically the idea that I've done it before, and I know, like, I've been able to do it enough where I have asthma, so that's the only thing that would probably affect whenever I run. But then I've noticed every time I go back to it, like, the asthma is not as bad, or like I find little patterns. Like I was talking with friends before, like if I take a break, like at a stoplight or something, if I'm stopping at a stoplight, then my asthma might kick up if I take up too long of a break. So then things like that, where if I'm just gonna turn left instead of wait for the stoplight or something, and then I'm able to keep going because I'm not a noob at running anymore, so I know what I need to do.
Do you feel the asthma like a lot when you're running?
Definitely not compared to when I started cross country. I feel like cross country like helped me and a lot of other people.
Just with asthma?
Yeah, like either with asthma or just like understanding how to deal with it. Like, okay, it's going bad, but I do this. I run slower, or I breathe like this, or something. I feel like that's what I would do.
I see.
And do you have like a technique when you're breathing? Because like you have asthma. Like I also had mild asthma too when I was running in high school, and it was just like a lot of running. That's why. Do you have like a technique when you're breathing? Is it like do you breathe in through your nose and mouth, and like is it like step by step, or do you pay attention to your breathing when you're running?
Yeah. Now that I'm going back to it every once in a while, I'm not running as much, so I don't have to do the breathing that I usually do. But in cross country, like my asthma would go every time. I would literally, like, it's always the same thing where I would breathe in, usually 2 times in, 2 times out through my mouth or my nose. Like, if I do breathe through my nose, it's inhaling nose out through mouth. But when the asthma starts kicking up, like, it's harder to inhale and exhale. So, like, I would take 3 breaths in and then 2 breaths out, 3 breaths in. Like
while you're running?
Yeah, so it's like...
Gotcha.
Because like your lungs
it's like
feel
it's
so
closing,
tight.
Right?
So the third breath, I have to like expand my lung, like stretch it out each time I'm running to like make sure I deal with it. But yeah, it seemed to work, so I just kept doing that, and I didn't get injured or anything. So
that's good.
Very, very cool. Sorry, real quick, and also like usually a trick that I usually do. I know sometimes it's like also weather too, but like I would cover my mouth and then try to breathe in like really warm air because sometimes like it's outside air. So like I remember starting a race, I'd be like that, like so then it like helps with like, it's like sometimes you feel something. Yeah, cold day, right? Yeah. And that's a trick that I usually do. I never actually said this throughout the episode until now, which is crazy. But yeah. What are you gonna say, Thomas?
I remember for us like freshman year we were talking about this in George's episode, but we would have a pack in the races. And I remember Aaron had like asthma, and he would like you could hear him like during the race. Like everyone was kind of quiet, like in their zone, but like I remember like everyone could hear Aaron,
Yeah.
like his breathing.
That was me. I'm like, sorry guys, I'm breathing too high.
Like, so like, do you think like if like kids with asthma, like, do you think it's like good for them to start early with running then?
Yeah. I mean,
like,
I feel like running's the only thing you can. I don't know what else would help with asthma. I'm not sure.
Like, is it like dangerous almost, or is it like kind of recommended?
Like, I'd recommend it, I guess. I mean, I didn't have the worst asthma in the world. Like, it's just if I were to exercise, it would go off. Maybe some people probably just get asthma attacks out of nowhere. But since it only happened when I exercise, I realized like I probably can improve it if I exercise, because exercising is how it starts. So maybe I wasn't sure. I was just like experimenting, and then me and friends told me also, like, who had asthma, they're like, it's getting better. So I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of feel like it's getting better. I feel like I could run further. Because the first day I ran, like, I stopped so fast. I'm like, are we done yet? It's like, we're just started. We have to go that way and go back. I'm like, are you kidding?
Because I feel like if you're breathing different, like, could that like also make you like lightheaded too?
Yeah, like, definitely. I had to start slow. Like, everybody else was going this pace, and I felt like, okay, I'm gonna quit on the first day across that shit. And then like the alumni are just like helping me, like, come on, man, you can do it. Just keep going. I'm like, I'm trying the hardest I can. I can barely breathe. And then after, like, as I was getting through the year, I noticed like, okay, I'm not dying like the first day, and I'm not even doing that well compared to other people, but I just went my own pace. Like, it's you could say this for any school or anything, is like, just focus on your own pace. Don't compare yourself to others. You could, which will make you better, but if at the start, especially,
like too much, it's too much comparison. Yeah, I feel like if you're comparing yourself too much in the future, a lot of people like they run too much, or like they burn out and then they stop running.
Yeah,
or, like,
definitely.
Or they
J-Rod mentioned that like in the previous episode and stuff. Yeah. Do you want to finish up your thought, Thomas? I'm going to move on to the next segment.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know that you have done like pole vault in the past and track, right? Is that correct? Yes. Yeah. So what is like a typical week like for that? And like
well, like before that, like how did you get into pole vault?
Yeah, how did you get in?
So I did pole vault. I started it before going into high school, and I actually did it in high school because there was like this youth track thing. I don't know, you guys maybe talked about it before, but like Coach Druten would always host like these youth track, which is basically when you're not in high school, so middle schoolers, elementary schoolers could just go.
It's like an after school camp.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be like, oh, this is how you hurdle. You jump over this. All right, now do it with these baby hurdles and stuff or whatever. And like they recently, when I've been doing that, and then the last year or a couple of years when I was a middle schooler about to go to high school, they started just having like pole vault. And I'm like, what the heck is that? That seems so scary. I want to do it. Like, I don't know if I'm good at it. Like, I never seen them do that. And then, like, they actually let me do it, and they gave me like little stick. I'm just jumping over. I'm like, this is probably not how you're doing it. This is kind of boring. And then I see like other people actually like bending it. It's like a rubber band or something, and they're just shooting up into the air. I'm like, I wanna be able to do that. That seems impossible. Let's see if I can do that. And then, yeah, I was able to actually do it as I did it in high school. I got into high school because of that youth track.
That's lit.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I think that story was just amazing. And how'd you pick your pole? You said that you like the bending.
Yeah. So like at the beginning, when you're a beginner, like you're not gonna bend that stuff. You need to know like how you feel when you're in the air, and like how heavy you are. Maybe the pole might be too skinny or something. So they start you off with like a baby pole, which is just really light. And then once you start getting the form and the technique down, like it's simple stuff. Just you have to repeat it over and over and over, because if you mess it up a little bit, you might misstep, and then you fuck everything up.
Yeah, but, you gotta like count your steps and stuff like that, right?
Be consistent every time. But then,
are there like a bunch of different kind of sticks, or is it just like?
Yeah, it's so at the start it's just a baby pole to get used to it, and then once you get used to it, then it depends on your weight and your height, but more of your weight. So basically, there's like a lot of numbers, but basically you would usually
just pick the one for your weight.
Yeah, it has like the weight labeled on it, and it's probably also the weight of the pole, but I would be around the weight that I actually am because I was like 160. So I would be like on 150, which is kind of all right. It's lighter, and then the lighter it gets, the easier it is to bend because it's like for lighter people, and yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to think.
Dude, I feel like pole vault's pretty sketchy, man. Like,
Yeah,
did you have any like epic fails or anything that you remember?
Like the pole breaks.
Does the pole ever break?
Yeah, not for me, but
it has that. Like,
other teammates I've seen like
shit.
they're like going for it, and then
they just you fall like on the like, jeez.
Like I never see anybody get like fucking so injured, but they would land either in the part you put the pole in is called a box. And, like they would land so close to like hurting themselves, but they'll be like, "Oh God, I'm upside down, but I'm okay. I'm on the pad, just still."
Dang.
But one guy flew all the way across like the other side of the mat.
Oh shit!
But that wasn't because the pole broke. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. How about
random stuff?
Did you have any personal like crazy thing?
The only times I've never broken a pole, but like there'll be. I still wasn't completely used to the form. Like I could have made my form better, so I would like be in the zone and I would completely ignore everything I just learned, like the form wise. And I went up and then it was during practice and then it almost went bad, but I landed on the mat, like in the box, as I said, where you put the pole in.
I see.
And like, I was like, oh God, I could have maybe died. Who knows? Like,
dude,
it's always.
Could you low-key die? Like.
Well, yeah, if you land on your head or like on your neck the wrong way or something in a bad spot, yeah, it's always a possibility. But you just gotta, follow what you learned. Land on the mat.
It seems like once you get it though, like you just have to stay consistent.
No, yeah. Because like as I learned it, I'm like, dude, I always thought this thing was so sketchy, and people tell me, "Isn't that sketchy? Isn't that sketchy?" I'm like, "Yes, it's sketchy, but I know how to not make it sketchy." So
I see, yeah.
It worked out. I never died. I'm here.
That's good. All right, should we move on to the final kick?
Yes, we should. Yep.
All right, so this is just 10 speed round questions, and try to answer them as fast as you can. All right, Lakers or Warriors?
Lakers.
Yeah, I just gotta ask it. Gatorade or water?
Water.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
What sports did you play in high school?
Sports I played track with the pole vault, cross country. I did water polo a little bit, but I didn't stick with it, and I think that should be it. Yeah.
On my rest days, I like to
play video games and go on the internet. I don't know.
Well, which coach do you want to give a shout out to?
Coach Druten for sure, and then I guess he didn't have a lot of good reputation, but my pole vaulting coach, he was pretty chill to me, at least. Maybe not so much to other people, but.
What book do you recommend?
Book I recommend.
Could be anything. Like
a movie.
Oh yeah, you could switch it to movie.
A movie.
I mean, we haven't been watching movies recently because
I don't know. I guess Inception. I don't know.
Dude, Inception's a good movie. That's one of my top movies. Would you ever run a marathon?
Yeah. I don't think I have yet, but I want to. Definitely, that's something I have to do. I have to do in my lifetime.
What time do you usually wake up?
I'd say average like 10 or 11, but I've been going to sleep pretty late, so like 12 and stuff.
All right, for sure. And then this is the last question. What's your favorite breakfast?
Favorite breakfast? Either the quickest breakfast is cereal with milk, but I honestly don't have that much. I just kind of eat like either eggs or something, or like rice with random other side dishes that are available. Literally just leftovers sometimes for breakfast.
That's chill.
Yeah, really, really chill. All right, so we're gonna end it with the quote. So a lot of athletes in pole vault, I guess they kind of just say this: the difference between me and you is that when I get high, my parents are proud. There's a lot of meaning behind that.
Yes.
That's a funny one.
Funny one, right? Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Do you have any like last word of advice or anything?
Like someone like for a kid who's like thinking about doing pole vault.
Yeah, maybe getting into pole vault for me. Maybe.
What would you say to that person?
I'd say like definitely don't, at least try it. Like you're gonna see a bunch of or hear a bunch of people say, "Oh my God, that's so scary! You're gonna kill yourself! Don't do that." But you know, as long as you follow the form, if you get the form down, like keep your left arm straight and do like your body straight, like just follow the form, and you will be really good at it. Because I kind of didn't get good after a while, but the form, I was really good at the form, and like people kept pointing it out. And I feel like people like the form over anything the most. Like they think you look beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very aesthetic.
Yeah.
Aesthetic event.
Yeah. So don't be afraid.
Very, very cool. That's very inspiring. Thank you so much, Kento, for being on the show. I really appreciate you for being on here, and I hope you have a wonderful day. For our viewers, thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kento.
All right, thank you. Peace. Hello, Running Club at UC Riverside fans. Daniel Yang here, president of Running Club. If you like that video that you just watched, smash that like button down below. If you'd like to see more podcast episodes and creative content, remember to hit that subscribe button right here. Thank you so much for watching.